Hi guys, so while Nigel Farage seems to be AWOL at the moment, other Brexiteers are finally stepping forward and explaining why Brexit isn't really working out as they had promised people. Of course, they have to blame someone else. They will never blame Brexit. So here we have Lance Foreman, who used to be a member of the Brexit Party. Now he's an independent, and he's going to explain why there are all these problems on the border.
So we are hearing stories in the media now about British, Scottish fish exporters struggling to get their products into the EU. Obviously, they weren't prior to the 31st of December. And these are the sort of short-term issues that we will be facing and need to be ironed out. It's not a problem of Brexit, it's a problem of our bureaucracy not being ready in time. And
yeah, isn't that interesting? Because when Remainers raised this issue, said, look, the government are not prepared for Brexit. They haven't the paperwork, they haven't informed businesses, they haven't put in enough resources, they haven't invested, they haven't enough staff. The response from people like Lance Foreman and other Brexiteers was Project Fear. Stop undermining Brexit. We voted to leave. We've left. Get over it. You lost. We won. That was the response. Now, could it have been possible to put in place the measures to deal with this? Yes, it could have. But Brexiteers decided against that. There were 4 years to prepare for Brexit. But the government decided not to do that. Now, why did they not prepare for Brexit? Because if they started to prepare, they'd have to explain why they're preparing. And it would run contrary to the rhetoric that everything will be okay. See, a competent government would have said, look, we voted to leave. This is going to cost a lot of money. It's going to create a lot of problems, but we're going to follow through with it. Like the EU, who didn't vote for Brexit, explained very early on to businesses and to member states to prepare for the worst. The Brexiteers instead were saying, don't prepare for the worst because it's all Project Fear, anyone who says there will be the worst.
They should have been ready. We should have examined what certification was needed, what health certificates were needed for the...
Why were you not promoting this, Lance, at the time? Now, it's either you didn't know, but you were an MEP, you were a member of the Brexit Party, you were promoting this. Surely, if you were promoting something, you would know what it was about. You can't come back now and say, look, people should have prepared for this. Why didn't you tell them about it? Perhaps it's because you didn't want to give away the game.
These fishermen to be able to get their products across to the continent, and we just haven't been doing that. Hopefully that will be resolved quickly. In the meantime, I think that the government really has a duty to support those businesses, to compensate them for any losses they might have incurred.
So the taxpayer, the British taxpayer, should compensate fishermen because they were lied to by the government. And by Brexiteers as well. So this is the solution. So instead, well, actually, you know what would be a better solution? Instead of the taxpayer paying for it, why don't we have a whip round? We can get Lance to maybe hand over some cash. We can ask Nigel Farage to sell a few Range Rovers that he has in order to compensate these fishermen. It's not a lot of money we're talking about. The people who lied to the fishermen, wouldn't it make sense that those people made amends for the lies that they told? Shouldn't they pay the cost? Why should the taxpayer? A lot of taxpayers didn't vote for Brexit. A lot of taxpayers didn't want Brexit. Why should they pick up the tab? Why should they have to compensate these fishermen? And in many cases, some of these fishermen voted to leave. So you're asking people who had been saying, this is a disaster, we don't want anything to do with it. You're asking them to put their hand in their pocket to fix a problem that you created and that they voted for. Now, I don't know what planet Lance Foreman is on, but I don't agree with this. If Brexiteers created this problem, Brexiteers should be fixing it. Now, it doesn't have to be fixed monetarily. It could be diplomatically. Why aren't the Brexiteers organising a trip to Brussels to try and sort this out? They created this problem. Once again, you can't blame the EU or you can't blame Remainers or Romoners, as you like to call them. This is your baby. You created this. Take responsibility for it.
In this short-term period whilst they were unable to get that certification. If you turn the whole thing on its head, I don't believe that we've been stopping European exporters exporting their products to us. I think we've just been waving those through whether or not certificates have been in place or not.
And why do you think that's the case? Why do you think that the UK is not stopping EU trucks from coming in? It's because they don't have the resources to deal with it. And they don't want shortages. They know that if trucks are stopped at the border coming into the UK and they have to queue up for hours and hours and hours, what's going to happen? Well, there will be delays and therefore there will be shortages. But there's also another problem. The other problem is that those companies will decide, to hell with this, we're not going to continue this run. We're not going to continue to provide goods to the UK because it's not feasible. It's too expensive. It's not worth our while. Now, I want to get back to the point of Brexiteers created this problem. They need to own it. And I don't want to hear in the comments section from Brexiteers saying, we won, you lost, get over it. Who won and who lost? Because it seems to me that nobody won and everybody lost. But some people were telling the Brexiteers for years that there is some trouble coming down the road. You need to sort it out. The EU was sorting it out. The UK was not sorting it out because Brexiteers believed in Brexit. Brexit could not be criticised. You even had the Labour Party afraid, walking on eggshells, out of fear of criticising Brexit. Today, at this moment, Keir Starmer, why isn't he organising a protest against this, against the government, saying, what the hell are you doing? Why aren't you supporting the fishing industry? Why doesn't he go down to the port? Make a show. Show what is happening. Show some solidarity perhaps with these fishermen. But he can't do that. Why can't he do it? Because he voted for Boris Johnson's deal. Now, I know that this is nothing to do with Boris Johnson's deal. This is to do with Brexit. But the public seem to think this is to do with the deal. That's why Boris Johnson is not promoting the deal at the moment. That's why Nigel Farage has gone AWOL. The Brexiteers need to step up, be a man, and take responsibility. Because they sold this to the public. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot. I want to say a big thank you to all of my patrons. You ensure that this channel continues to exist. I'm eternally grateful for all of your support. If you join Patreon, you will receive instant access to our Discord server, where we have both audio and video chats. You can chat with me and other patrons, where we discuss important and non-important issues. Becoming a patron per month costs about the same as a large coffee. So why not check it out?